Hello everyone, my name is Jordan McClone and this is the Burkesville broadcast. Today I am joined by...
My name is Aiden Steele and this is our guest.
Luke King, Cumberland County Judge Executive.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you both for having me.
So to start this interview, we're going to start simple. Introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, things like that.
Sure. I grew up in Cumberland County, city of Burkesville. I was out in the county. I was a county kid, not a city kid, but now I find myself a little closer to those city limits with the current role as Cumberland County Judge Executive. After I left Cumberland County High School upon graduation, I went to Murray State University. After graduating from there, spent some time at the state level at the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, and then moved to the federal level with the U.S. House of Representatives, serving as what I was told at the time was the youngest Director of Constituent Services in the country.
Can you tell us about yourself outside of your job?
Sure. I'm a very proud dad of a little bitty one at this time, still under 2 years old. I'm married to Sarah Reynolds King. She is a quality manager in a neighboring county. She's bilingual, so that helps with her Mexico operation down there. She's also, and I'm also, real estate investors. We've got a farming operation, furniture, and antique store outside of that.
So as we are aware, but some of our listeners may not be, you are the Judge Executive of Cumberland County.
That is correct.
You are over our fiscal court. So we want to ask, can you tell us a little bit about what you do day to day?
Sure.
And I'm sure it differs all the time.
It does.
On a general day, what would you be doing?
Sure. Well, the first thing to note there is for our listeners who maybe aren't from Kentucky or even Cumberland County, Cumberland County Judge Executive is best explained as being like the county mayor. Kentucky has a different form of government, so we're set up where our county executives run the road department, the fiscal departments, personnel cabinet. You're head of all of the solid waste, the animal control. And day to day in Cumberland County, even though we're the third smallest county in the state, we've still got all those same areas to deal with as a Jefferson County, which is Louisville, or a Fayette County, which is Lexington. Now, thank goodness we don't have the same number of problems every day, but we do still have the same kind of problems, just on a different scale. In Cumberland County, we start every week the same way. Monday morning, we have a Monday morning management team meeting. That's where we bring the entire team in, the department heads, EM, we've got ABC, which is alcohol and beverage control, road department, and we get everybody on the same page. It doesn't matter if you've got a staff of 25 or if you've got a staff of 25,000. If you don't have everybody on the same page or as close to it as possible, and some accountability going both ways, you're not going to be successful. Fortunately, in Cumberland County, we have a wonderful team and quite proud of the success that we've had in the last 23 months.
Do you have any future plans for Cumberland County that you can share with us today?
Absolutely. And if this were an hour-long podcast, I could take it and then some. But in a nutshell, one of our primary focuses of this administration, no surprise to anybody sitting around the table today, is our youth. Our youth is the future of Cumberland County. That's cliche. You hear it in a lot of campaigns. You hear it at the local level, state level, federal level. Unfortunately, after those campaign cycles are over, you stop hearing a lot about it until the next campaign cycle starts. That is unfortunate. In Cumberland County, we are attempting to do something about that. We have in Cumberland County a bit of a pilot project for the entire state, not just the region, and then arguably even this regional part of the United States, with a civics club that's here at the high school, Cumberland County High School, which is a feeder program into a county-sponsored internship program. Now, when that program started, naturally, there was a question about whether or not there would be a positive return on investment. You all, as members of the younger generation and future leaders of Cumberland County, have no doubt heard people say, oh, the young people are lazy, they don't care, they don't want to take any interest. That's not true. Is it true that there are people at all ages that don't care, are lazy, are not well behaved? Yes, at every single age, from 2 to 200. But what we have found in Cumberland County is that not only do we have a rather significant youth population that wants to be involved, but we also have a significant population that's incredibly capable, and when they get involved, we're all better off because of it. It would be my goal at the end of however many terms Cumberland County allows me to serve, that we are put in a position where on our last day, we can say the next generation is ready and Cumberland County will be better off because of it.
So I'm aware, I don't know if Aiden's aware, but the Civics Club, as I'm a member of it for any of the listeners
And
here.
we're lucky to have you.
Would you like to touch on a little bit of the current goals of the Civics Club?
Absolutely. I give the Civics Club all the credit in the world for some upcoming success here in Cumberland County. Back in January of 2023, and at the date of this recording, that's roughly 2 years ago now, we met as a newly formed club to set 3 priorities. That was not something for the listeners to note here. That is not something that I had any sway in. That is not something that I influenced in any ways. Quite proud of the 3 priorities that came out of it. One of those was a youth or a wellness center, recreational center. One was getting a fast food restaurant into Cumberland County. And the third and final one was a splash pad. The splash pad has made a lot of progress over the last now 2 years. Cumberland County, at our last fiscal court meeting just a couple weeks ago, we made the decision as a court with unanimous support to move forward with phase 2 of the splash pad. There was a dilapidated structure on the property that we had proposed to use for the splash pad. That has been torn down at the expense, a minor expense, given our overall budget. But that's now a flat, no vegetation as far as trees, bushes, any type of undergrowth growing on that. It's ready for phase 2 development. We'll be meeting with the engineer from the splash pad company coming up pretty soon. I'm very, very excited for not just the youth of Cumberland County, but the parents who will get to enjoy that with their kids, grandkids, nieces, and nephew. And Jordan, I'll give you and the rest of the Civics Club a lot of credit for moving this ball forward. This is something that has been talked about a lot by folks who are a lot older than you all. And fortunately for Cumberland County, you and your colleagues have gotten involved, and we're finally doing something about it. So appreciate your service to the community in that way.
And thank you for allowing us to have that opportunity.
Happy to do it.
For our listeners that are listening to this, it's amazing what we've been able to do with the help of Judge
Absolutely.
King. Without him, I don't think we would have
You're too
unfortunately
kind.
got where we have, but luckily we have.
So, how do you see the Civics Club progressing any further than it already has with the splash pad and other such similar things that have been decided upon?
Good question, Aiden. What I would tell you is that I think it will be very, very difficult to contain, nor would we want to, the effects of the Civics Club to just Cumberland County borders. The other judges in our Lake Cumberland Area Development District region, which we have 10 counties in that region, every meeting I go to, I am asked by multiple other judges and county officials, how can we get what you've got in Cumberland County? Because it is encouraging when you see something as an obstacle that has not been able to be jumped over in 20, 30, 40 years, but now with the youth's help, we can get it done. That's something that other elected officials in other counties take note of, and they say, what if we got a group of youth involved in our county? Could we get that kind of thing done here too? Now, I will tell you, I'm quite proud of the youth of Cumberland County because less than 3 weeks ago, I was in Louisville, Kentucky at the CACO conference. That's the Kentucky Association of County Officials. I was approached by members of fiscal courts. I was approached by other judge executives, county court clerks, circuit court clerks, sheriffs, jailers. It was an overwhelming number that wanted to know how to start something like we've got in Cumberland County in their own respective counties. I think it's safe to say this is not a countywide thing. This is not just a regional thing or a statewide thing. I do think you all, as members of Cumberland County Youth, are on the cusp of something that is national. You're getting a lot of attention for the success and involvement that you're contributing into the local government. And I think we will see at the end of this term or the next a lot of recognition across the country for what you all have built.
To wrap it up, we've got one final question. Where in, let's say, 10 years, so to speak, where would you like to see Cumberland County go?
In 10 years from now, I would like to see the current Civics Club members running Cumberland County. Now, that doesn't just mean necessarily in elected offices. We've got dozens and dozens of boards and commissions and committees. I want to see the seeds that are being planted today grow so that 10 years from now, the same seeds that got planted are planting new seeds for another 10-year crop down the road. That would please me more than anything else.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
for
Aiden and Jordan.
Going on and talking about just everything going on.
And thank you to our listeners who are joining us today. See you next time on the Burkesville broadcast.